I woke up at 4 a.m. today, not because I had to, but because the sleep of an 80-year-old man is thin like an old silk sheet. I sat by the window and watched the world begin to stir. For decades, I was one of them. The ones in the cars, the ones with the briefcases, the ones checking their watches as if time were a wild animal they could eventually domesticate. But sitting here in the blue light of dawn, I realized the most terrifying thing about reaching 80 isn't that life is short. It's that life is incredibly long, and yet we spend the vast majority of it asleep while our eyes are wide open. When you're young, you think of the end as a cliff you fall off. But it isn't a cliff. It's a slow receding of the tide. You look back and see all the things you thought were pillars of your existence. Your titles, your bank balance, the square footage of your home, and you realize they were just sandcastles. The fog didn't lift from the trees this morning. It lifted from my mind. And what I saw underneath was the hard truth I wish someone had whispered to me when I was 25. The first hard truth is this: we never truly own anything. In my 50s, I was proud of my legacy. I pointed to the company I helped build, the house I paid off, and the children I raised. I used the word "my" like a shield. My car, my career, my reputation. But at 80, your hands start to shake just enough to remind you that you're losing your grip on all of it. I've watched the keys to my first home pass through 4 different families. I've seen my name removed from office doors to make room for someone younger, faster, and hungrier. We aren't owners. We are temporary stewards. We are given a few years to hold a hand, to occupy a chair, and to breathe the air. When you realize you own nothing, the fear of losing things disappears. You stop guarding your life and start living it. I spent years worrying about the value of my assets, never realizing that the only thing of value was the capacity to feel the sun on my face. We spend the first half of our lives gathering, and the second half realizes that the gathering was just a distraction from the being. One of the hardest parts of watching 8 decades pass is the silence. This house used to be a riot of noise, slammed doors, laughter, the constant hum of a telephone. Now, the silence is a heavy blanket. You become a ghost in a world that belongs to the young. You see them rushing past you on the sidewalk, their eyes glued to screens, their minds 1,000 miles away. They look at me with a mix of respect and pity, as if I am a book on a high shelf that no one intends to read. But here is the secret. The silence isn't your enemy. Most people spend their entire lives running away from themselves. They use noise, work, and people to drown out the voice in their own heads. But at 80, you can't run anymore. Your knees won't let you. You are forced to sit down with the stranger in the mirror. If you haven't made peace with that person, old age is a prison. But if you have, it's a sanctuary. I've learned to forgive the man I was, the one who made mistakes, the one who was selfish, the one who was afraid. I am my own last companion, and finally, we are friends. People always ask me if I have regrets. Of course I do. Only a fool or a liar says they don't. But there is a difference between regret and remorse. I regret the risks I didn't take, the business I didn't start because I was afraid of failing, the trips I didn't take because I was too busy. Those are the light regrets. But remorse? Remorse is the weight of the words you kept bottled up because of pride. I spent so much energy being right. I argued with my wife over trivialities. I held grudges against friends for perceived slights. I look at the names in my old address book that have lines drawn through them now. They are gone. And in the face of their absence, I realize that being right was the loneliest victory I ever won. It didn't matter who won the argument. What mattered was that the bridge was burned. If I could go back, I wouldn't seek more success. I would seek more kindness. Kindness is the only currency that doesn't devalue when the market of your life crashes. We protect our egos as if they are made of gold, but at the end, They are just weights that keep us from floating. So, what remains when the stage lights go down? Gratitude. A fierce, heart-aching gratitude for the sheer impossibility of it all. That I got to be part of the dance for 29,000 sunrises. I see my grandson's eyes, and I see my father's eyes looking back at me. I am just one stitch in a tapestry that stretches back to the beginning of time. My job now isn't to lead the parade, it's to cheer from the sidelines and hope the next generation learns to linger over their coffee a little longer than I did. I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. I've realized the light never really goes away. It just moves to the next room. If you're listening to this, don't wait until your hair is white to find what remains. Look for it now. It's in the breath you just took. It's in the person sitting across from you. It's in the quiet of your own heart. Thank you for sitting with an old man on his porch for a moment. If this reached you, tell someone you love them today. Don't wait for a reason, because one day the reason won't matter and the opportunity will be gone.